Hey everyone, welcome to the week 2 training for our beta testing groups for Email Copy Pro. Welcome one and all. Hey Leanne, you with me?
I am right here with you. Well, you're in California and I'm not, but we're here. We're here virtually together.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, I'm in LA currently. So say hello. Make sure that we can be heard okay, and then we'll dive right into the training. So say hi in the chat, where you're from, that kind of stuff. So we can, I know we had quite a few people sign up for the coaching today, so I want to make sure that we're heard loud and clear, and then we'll get started. We'll get rolling. Bob said hello. Martin, hello.
Will. As soon as that 30-second delay kicks in.
Yeah, cool.
So we got them now. Bob, Martin, Robert, Andrew, thanks so much for saying hi.
Yeah, come on in, folks. Come on in.
The water's fine.
Hey, Scott. All right, cool. Getting more here.
Martin from Israel. Shalom.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Ellen's right in your neck of the woods, San Francisco Bay.
Long neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Long
the same coast, anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's dive in, and I know we're gonna get into people. They always come in late. Okay. Hey, Dr. J, you're in Berkeley, huh? Orange County. Hey, yeah. Not Orange County is the neck of the woods. I'm actually in Marina Del Rey for the next 2 days. So, Robert, you got us all beat, Hong Kong. So, yeah, I don't know what time it is there, but I'm pretty sure it's late or early. So, anyway, all right, cool. Thanks everyone for joining. We're going to get started. We got some, there's going to be some brief updates at the end of the training. We've got quite a few updates coming in between now and April 4th. So you guys stick around for some cool stuff, including lots of niches coming your way, and some really, really cool stuff being added to the training. So, okay, Ellen, we'll take those questions as soon as we get into the training, but that's a great question, and I'll show you. And I could do this really quickly here. Actually, it's going to be better to do it now. Ellen, just I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you. So when you can see my screen, say you can see my screen. Leanne?
I can see your screen.
Okay. Whoops.
Whoops. Yeah.
Okay, now okay. So yeah, if you want to change the name of a niche, like I'm just going to change this one. Click the blue pencil icon here. And hey, it's not happening for me either. Oh, okay. So we have a bug, because normally that works. So I'm going to let Ted know we got a bug. So that's why it's not working. There's a bug. That has not been happening until now. So thank you for pointing that out. We'll get that fixed tomorrow. So no worries there. Good thing about us is we move fast. So yeah, did you notice that, Liam? I just changed the name of a niche like 3 days ago. So that must be a recent thing. So
yeah, that's weird.
Hmm.
Thank you,
yeah, Jonathan, watching monkey videos. Yeah, I decided to put the infamous Darwin video in place of the videos that we haven't finished yet. And of course, when the beta started, we had no videos because I had to wait for you guys to say, hey, we want this over here and us up here, and otherwise you would have to show all the videos again. So yeah, I'm going through making all the videos now, and yeah, Darwin does pop up. Yes, Guy, you don't have that green square on your screen because you're not an admin. That green square is for admins only. It allows us to pin a niche and create a template out of it. So no panic on that. You're not supposed to have it. All right, cool. Let's get started. I love this section just because it gets into some of the nitty-gritty stuff. So let's run the first training video, and then we're going to start taking. We'll do it the same way we did last time. In case you weren't with us, we'll run the video training, and then we will take questions live, and then we'll go right down the line. We'll finish up the causes section today.
Mistaken beliefs are beliefs your prospect may hold that they use as reasons for not being able to achieve success in your niche. So, for example, you might want to think of it in this sentence structure. You may think blank to succeed, but this isn't true. So you may think you must exercise for hours a day to succeed, but this isn't true. Or you may think you have to start with a lot of money in the bank in order to run a small business to succeed, but this isn't true. That's how the mistaken belief structure works. You want to think of what your prospect is thinking of that they falsely believe is a necessary thing for them to succeed, and then you're going to debunk it inside this niche entry. This is where you want to lay out some common misconceptions about how to solve the problem, or myths about the problem that you want to debunk in order to reveal the actual cause of the problem. This will position you as an authority on the subject, as well as help your message stand out in your prospect's mind. So think of these mistaken beliefs as all the misinformation or bad ideas or fad strategies or tactics that you completely disagree with. You're going to explain why they're false by giving them the reality behind it. Some copywriters refer to this as taking a contrarian position. In fact, the more shocking the false cause is, the more attentive your prospect is going to be. For example, if your position is counting grams of fat can cause weight gain, your prospect is more likely to pay attention because this is exactly the opposite of what they currently believe. You're going to define future tense and present tense mistaken beliefs, and these are slightly different in Email Copy Pro as far as structure. Okay, let's define the first one here. As you can see, we're looking for pronouns, what's called a modal verb, which is simply are not, can, cannot, etc., and a verb, and this is going to be the pronouns you, your, we, our. So you're going to select from these drop downs and create a sentence that sounds a lot like this. For example, you do not have the right trading system, or you do not have the right workout plan, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm going to give some examples using, again, my niche of weight loss. I'm going to start with you have to. My verb is going to be cut. And I'm going to say calories and fat to extremely low levels. Now, that would be a common misconception, at least in my worldview, for customers wanting to go on a diet. You have to cut your calories and fat to an extremely low level. I'm going to add your calories and fat to extremely low levels. You can do that. So I'm going to choose but believe it or not. And my truth is this. This just leads to frustration and can actually cause your body to store more fat, especially if you cut your calories too low for more than 72 hours. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm laying a little groundwork for my product's USP, or unique selling proposition. So I'm hinting at it right here, but I'm not telling them what it is yet. Now, there's one more thing we got to do. I refer to this mistaken belief as, and this is where it's going to take a little creativity on your part. I want you to come up with a 1 or 2 word description, and you can use a little more than that, but don't get too wordy here. And use a title case so that you're making it look like it's a branded term. And it's a description for the mistake that you just described. So what would I call cutting your calories too low? So I'm going to call it the low calorie myth. Now, low calorie myth is fine and it will work great, but what if I wanted something that would make my emails stand out and look completely unique? Because low calorie myth, maybe people have heard that before. So if I just change this to low calorie sabotage, all of a sudden it has a specific ring to it. And now your emails will come out saying, are you falling victim to low calorie sabotage? And they're not going to know what that is, but the word sabotage is so unique, it stands out. So I really like that one. I'm going to save it. Now, we ask you to create 3 of these. And the reason why is because we're going to use these in content emails. We're going to use these in nurture emails. We're going to use these in promotion emails. So we'll keep going. Click Add Entry. And for this one, I'm going to say you. I'm going to say can. And I'm going to say never eat. That's perfectly fine. I put a descriptor above the verb, which is fine, as long as this verb is not anything other than it must not end in ing or ed, so never eat. Eat is fine. And then my copy is going to say your favorite foods, especially desserts, or maybe just eat them once a week at the most. So that's a very common mistaken belief, that someone can never eat desserts, especially, maybe once a week at the most. I'll say, however, the truth is, on second thought, I'm going to use but believe it or not, because this is pretty shocking. So believe it or not, and I'll scroll over here and show you what I wrote here. My plan calls for enjoying your favorite foods just about any day you like, and especially every 4th day. Again, what am I doing? I'm teasing my solution. That way you're never 72 hours or so away from anything you want to eat. Notice I'm not ending anything in punctuation. Let Email Copy Pro do the punctuation for you. You can put punctuation inside this, but not at the very end. And once again, I'm going to label this. I'm going to say, and I refer to this mistaken belief as the forbidden foods myth. Now that sounds pretty cool. The forbidden foods plays a little of the Garden of Eden thing there, so I'm going to keep that. Now that's 4 words. That's fine. I just want to keep it short. So we're going to add one more. I'm going to get a little creative on this one. You have to, and I'm going to use a verb that may not be in here, slave. Slave away. Doing hours of cardio a day. Oh, that's a common misconception when it comes to weight loss, right? And I'll say, however, the truth is 20 minutes of targeted exercise just 3 days a week is all you need to burn all the fat you desire. So that's a great promise. Do you see what we're doing here? We're saying, here's the misconception. You have to do this, or you're stuck doing this, or whatever, and it's something negative. However, the truth is something very positive. And since this sounds a little bit technical, I'm going to pull in experts. Experts refer to this mistaken belief as the fat storing zone. So I know that if you exercise too long, your body will produce more cortisol and you'll end up storing more fat. So I'm calling it the fat storing zone as a clever way of saying that. I'm going to save this. I'm going to add the present tense mistaken beliefs. Now, you could duplicate everything you just did, but you'll notice that the structure is slightly different because we use these in different ways. There's less fields that you can enter, but you can use the same basic ideas. I'm going to create something sort of fresh for each one of these to show you how I would do it. I want to use the verb living with a diet composed of salads and dry, tasteless proteins. So that's a very common mistaken belief. Yet in reality, and I'm going to put a lot of information here to show you that you can. This never works for more than a few weeks at best. You need a diet with foods you look forward to eating every day. And believe it or not, that's exactly what I will be sharing with you. So I actually give them a promise in this thing. That's how long and wordy you can get in this if you want to. And this is a misconception. It's something I call the rabbit food lie. It's fun. I'm going to add one that's a take of the one I added up above. I'm going to call it exercising like a crazy person 5 to 6 days a week. However, the truth is, and I'm going to use the same copy I used above, 20 minutes of targeted exercise, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to call this the same thing that I called the one above. So this myth is often referred to as, save. I'm going to say suffering on a diet plan that makes you feel like a social leper, eating only foods that a rabbit would enjoy. I'm getting a little bit creative on these, but I do that for a living. You can say something, suffering on a boring diet plan. You don't have to be this flamboyant with your words. That's fine. I'm going to change this to, but believe it or not, your friends and your family, and this is true, will not even notice you're on a diet, even when you're eating out at your favorite restaurants. Now, I'm going to call, this myth is often referred to as, again, the myth is talking about suffering on a diet plan, the starvation myth. Keep it really simple. And there we go. We've got our entries in both present tense and future tense, and now you're ready to go.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're going to wait a few seconds, and when you guys can hear us, the first person that says, hey, come on in. Okay, well, we got a lot of people.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Okay, some people are seeing the video and some people aren't?
Okay, guys, hang with us.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Okay, Jonathan's saying things are really screwed today. Jonathan, I have heard that. There could be a webinar jam thing. Okay, Bob said he's seeing the past tense video, which would have been the correct one, I believe.
No, it was mistaken beliefs.
Right, but there's 2 tenses, so I'm going to go back over to the niche.
Hey, Bob, did you see? Okay, Rick said, and Dr. Fred Rouse said he saw the video. Rick sees the video. Justin sees the video. Maybe the people who are not seeing the video are watching it on YouTube.
Are you guys watching it on YouTube, or are you watching it here? Because you can only watch it here. Jonathan says, okay. Dr. Fred said he had no problem. Rick saw it. Justin saw it. Martin saw it. Melanie says she saw mistaken belief. So, okay. Wow. Okay. I don't know what we should do here, guys. Let me do this. Yeah, you guys need to be inside Webinar Jam for sure. So what I think we should do is, as soon as I take the questions for this particular niche entry, we should play a second or two of the other one to make sure you guys hear it. and then we'll come back. Scott said same problem, no sound, sound, no screen. Okay. Okay. Well, you guys have these videos, as you know, inside Email Copy Pro. So obviously you can watch the videos. This is not the ideal scenario, but what I would appreciate if you guys could do, because this is a webinar jam problem, it's not anything we can fix. So what I suggest that we do is, if you can't see when we run the test next time, open up Email Copy Pro and just go to that video and play it. And then we'll come back with the questions. Does that seem like a fair thing?
Hopefully, yes. It seemed that a lot of people, it worked fine for. It was only Rachel and I think somebody else. There was only a couple of people and everybody else saw it. So
I want to make sure everybody sees it. So
of course, yeah.
Okay, so cool. Okay, that's what we'll do.
Yep.
For now, let's go ahead and take the if you have questions specific to mistaken beliefs, let's take those. Mistaken beliefs is a very important, very, very important niche entry, because we play off of mistaken beliefs all the time. It's also something that no one else does this, by the way. It's like we've looked at other email copywriting programs, like they're not software based, but just programs. And for whatever reason, this isn't a common thing, but it's been a very common thing in my copywriting to look at what people believe that is false. So I'd love to see some examples of some of your mistaken beliefs typed into the chat, so we can make sure that you're on track. Don't know what, Andrew, what you mean by, what do you mean by saying? Can you
Please complete that thought.
Can you finish that sentence for me? We play off mistaken beliefs. Yes. So Email Copy Pro will say, you know what? A lot of people believe that you need to exercise 4 hours a day in order to lose weight. You may believe that yourself. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. So whenever you say, here's what a lot of people believe. Now I made an exaggerated example just to make a point, but there's things that your customer or your prospect currently believes that isn't true, that's holding them back from actually taking action. So if you can take that concept and apply it to your emails to find things like, you may believe that you need to be really fit and attractive in order to be successful with dating more women, but that's not true. Some of them, basically, you're taking their objections that they already have in their mind and legitimately turning them around into saying, here's the truth behind that mistaken belief. That's what I mean by playing off of them. So there's a lot of, like, we'll use subject lines that says, is this belief holding you back? That kind of thing. So I believe that negative beliefs and what I call mistaken beliefs hold people back from taking action of all sorts. So we're going to try to have you guys, talk about them in the two tenses, and there you go. Mistaken belief that I could never write email copy like Jon Benson. That's what it's pretty funny. I say that because I heard David Gonzalez yesterday saying for like 2 hours straight, because we did all these videos together, and he's like, and it's true, this did happen. I sent David Gonzalez, my affiliate manager, emails, and I said, which one did I write and which one did Email Copy Pro write? And he guessed wrong almost every time. So, so I guess, yeah, and that's pretty cool, considering Leanne was the one filling out the ones for Email Copy Pro. So it's not, yeah. My goal is actually, to be honest with you, and this is being utterly transparent, I really wanted to make it, frankly, where it's just better than what I write. I mean, I write obviously good email copy, but there's email copy out there that converts for reasons that we don't know, that are written in different styles. And that's what we did with Email Copy Pro, is taking what we know works across lots of different venues of marketing and apply it to email. And of course, we took email as well, with consent and permission, of course, in case anyone's wondering, but also our own emails. So you got a combination of it all. And our copywriting team is doing this right now. Like, what's the hottest campaigns out there, so that every month you guys get this. You're going to get the hottest campaigns out there. And since you guys are beta members, you're automatically upgraded to the elite package, which is going to be either a monthly or a flat fee. I haven't decided yet, but that will include the hottest tested email of the month, the one that we either know or believe to be the hottest one of the month. So that will be in there all the time. So that it's just going to be think of it as the ultimate swipe file. So without having to be a copywriter. So you should have a portfolio with your age 100 in bonds. Age 100, the 100 age. I'm not sure I understand that. Leanne, do you understand that? Not sure what the 100 age is. Oh, I think I know. So yeah. I got you. Sorry, guy. Wow, I'm moving slow at 4:21. That's bad. So Scott said he's finding all kinds of new angles after 30 years of copywriting. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, thank you, Scott. We hear that a lot. And yeah, Guy. Yeah, there you go. Your age 100 in bonds. That's pretty funny. I love it. Yeah, 80-year-olds with 20% in stock. Yeah, interesting. That's if I knew anything about that we just so happen to be using futures trading because that was the niche that my copywriting partner Jon built into, and he's a futures trader, or used to be, and so he knew a lot about that subject. So I know nothing about it at all. So 80-year-olds have 20% in stock. That's pretty cool, Guy. That's really pretty cool. I like that. Sex not clients once you've been married for okay, Ellen, yeah, that's perfect. You know, that's a great mistaken belief. And the key word there is naturally. It's or inevitably. You can also use that naturally or inevitably. I would duplicate it and say it two different ways so that you can pull it in two different ways in two different emails. But inevitably, that's what most people believe, and of course that's not true. But naturally is also really great because you can play off the. You know, maybe people believe that since your sex hormones do decrease with age, your sex drive decreases with age, which there is some truth to that. But then you can, of course, you can say, but you know, hey, if you do this, do that, it doesn't happen that way. So that's awesome. I'm gonna read okay, Guy said this is called the insurance salesman. I love it. That's great, Guy. That's awesome. I like that one a lot. Mike said you have to spend years being an MMA athlete, real streets defense. Hey, Mike, you and I need to talk. I'm a huge MMA fan and a martial artist myself, so I'd love to hear what you're doing. So I'd just love to talk sometime about that. Inexorably, Martin. Martin, I tell you, my thoughts on words like that. I actually love really visceral language like that. Unfortunately, it's a word that 1 out of 10 people will understand, and that's a sad statement, but it's true. So I try to avoid words that I want to make sure I write at the 4th or 5th grade level. And by the way, guys, we were kind of curious. We took 3 or 4 emails from Email Copy Pro and pulled them into a readability score to see what they tested at, and nothing tested over the 6th grade level. And that's good. 6th or 7th grade is where you want to be. So just FYI. Awesome. Well, you guys don't. It looks like there's no. If there's no hard questions on mistaken beliefs, we can move on. The ones that I saw right here are excellent. And Mike, just make sure that. Yeah, cool. Love it, Mike. Just make sure that your mistaken belief doesn't start off with that you have to. That just make sure that if I'm going to go over here real quick. I mean, I'm just making sure it may not. But like if you look at the examples, you must blah. So you know it's we want to make sure that you're.
We don't see your screen, John. Were you trying to?
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad, guys. So let me share screen here. So can you see it now?
Yep. That time it definitely was a black screen.
Okay, very short one though. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, you would say you have to spend as long as you entered it that way. It's awesome. 4th grade power words. That's it, Jonathan. Yeah. Donald Trump uses 4th grade. I ran one of his speeches through rateability score, and it was a 4th grade level. 4th grade, and let me just be honest with you guys. That's not easy. You're either a natural idiot savant when it comes down to language. Maybe that's his case, or you're the most brilliant tactician that's ever lived, because it's not easy to write at the 4th grade level and communicate at all with adults. But yeah, one of my best sales letters was written it was about 4.6, 4.7, and it used words that were some words that were technical, but the majority of the language was it was 1 and 2 syllable words. So yeah. One more here is unrealistic to expect sexy. So yeah, a mistaken belief though. Yeah, this is good, Ellen. Okay, you're doing a cool twist here, because a mistaken belief is something that you currently believe is true that is false. So that's exactly how you would word it. You feel it's unrealistic to expect sex to get better with time. You know, so someone would say, yeah, it's just not realistic for sex to get better with time. So that's how you would say it. You can go to readability-score.com to test the reading level, readability-score.com. So Greg said, perhaps you believe you refuse to let your baby cry and cry for him and her to go to sleep. Yet in reality, this isn't true. And experts distinctly cried out. Yeah, that's good. Okay, except for, let me see, perhaps you believe, let me see, refuse to let your baby cry and cry. Okay, it's a little unclear. Are you saying that you would try to stop the baby from crying so they wouldn't cry themselves to sleep? Is that what you're saying? We can probably tighten up that language a little bit. Perhaps you believe, if I just want to understand what the truth is, because I know nothing about babies. Sorry, I'm a baby virgin.
Yeah, it's either they should cry or they shouldn't. Which one is it?
Right. I'm trying. That if it's unclear to us, we want to make sure it's
exactly.
Yeah. Let's make it a little tighter there. These are good, guys. I mean, you're doing everything right. And the cry it out method, I would just make it. I would spell it like this. Type it like this. Yeah. Oh, should not cry. Okay. Yeah. Perhaps you believe. Okay, perhaps you believe that preventing your child from crying before they go to sleep, before he or she goes to sleep, is the best way to blah 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 blah, whatever it was, the best way to induce a great night's sleep. But in reality, that's not true. And then you want to tell what the truth is, of course, the truth behind it, the cried out method. So, sorry guys. For whatever reason, I'm being a little bit like, I feel like I've been eating lead paint chips today here. But yeah, so Greg, see if that makes sense. And the cried out method is how I've got right here. So yeah.
Well, it should be the not cry, because he's saying that you shouldn't let them cry it out. You shouldn't let them.
Well, what's okay?
Cry, right? Correct.
I think so, but okay. First of all, the cried out method is great. But what Scott said, you may be suffering from the mistaken belief that when a baby cries, it's always a problem. That's a very succinct way of saying it. I like that, Scott, a lot. And you have not been eating lead paint chips today, I can see. So yeah, you might want to consider that, Greg. That's a great way to say it, and that's why we do these things, because sometimes
well, there is a belief with child rearing, at least if I think this is where Greg is going, that you let your baby cry themselves to sleep. And I think Greg is saying that's an old wives' tale, that you shouldn't do that.
So yeah, if that's what you're saying, Greg, then I would just say it as succinctly as I can. You may believe that you should let your baby cry him or her. I don't know if you would say cry itself to sleep. I think that is the proper grammar. When you're using the ubiquitous person, is to say you should let your baby cry itself to sleep. I don't think it itself is a necessarily negative thing, but that might not be kosher with parents. I'm not sure, so please check with that. But that's what I would say. You should that you may believe that you should let your baby cry itself to sleep, and that's the best way to. That's the best other way. And then say, but in reality, blah. That's an old wives' tale or whatever. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we got a couple more. Jonathan said, enter a one or two description. I can't get this part. No, it doesn't have to be one or two words. I did that because I wanted you guys to think small and not use some long sentence. So Jonathan said, you may think you're struggling because you cannot afford to get converting traffic. But the truth is AdWords, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, I refer to this mistaken belief as, you can call something like what I like to do for these kind of things is think of what is the best like descriptive word that describes what the problem is. In other words, we're talking here traffic or money, right? That you can't afford something, so money. traffic is like, so it's a, you know, the mistaken belief could be like it could be something as silly as money traffic, or it could be something as obvious as traffic ROI, you know, negative traffic ROI or something like that. But something to that effect is what you want to think through. Does that make sense? You guys there?
It makes sense to me.
Okay, right,
But
cool.
we're waiting for that 30 seconds to pass.
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you address Ellen?
So yeah, Martin said targeted traffic. But if I use that one, Martin, that's a good. I would use targeted traffic myth, or you could even use a high dollar traffic myth. That's as you know, it's kind of blasé, but it totally works. High dollar traffic myth. I mean, that. So do you see what I'm saying, Jonathan? And that's really all I'm trying to get you guys to do, because when you say it, it's going to stand out. And so Ellen, I'm going to get this one, then we got to go to the next video only because of time. What do you think about the use of the word "there" for nutrient? You know what? That's probably good, Ellen. That's a great point. And also that's good for the children too, come to think of it. Yeah. So neutral genders, or when you say he or she, he/she, it can get kind of gaudy unless it's a manual that you're trying to be instructive. So I think cry their self or cry, you know, cry itself, either one will work. That's probably a Google question, simply because I don't know, not being a parent, I don't know the nomenclature there. But for what Ellen is saying, there is, he or she isn't interested. Yeah, I would say when they are not interested, right? I would say when they are not interested, for sure, if it's an adult. Yeah. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, let's roll this. Okay, let's roll the second video for like 10 seconds and we'll pause it.
Enemy.
Okay? Can we do that?
For we'll find out. I'll try. It may just totally kill it, and I would have to load it again.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and try it, and let's see if it works. And guys, just hang with us. We'll play the whole video, and hopefully this will work. Everybody with us in Webinar Jam, and let's roll it and see.
Yeah, and this one's only 1 minute and 10 seconds, so
okay, great. Okay,
we'll know fast.
Try it, Kim says. Try it.
Here we go. And we're back. At least I'm back. How about you, John?
I am back. Am I back?
You are back.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Yes, it's working. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we got 2 people saying it's working. So let's see how we're doing here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Martin, we're all back. Jonathan, looks like it worked.
Okay, great. All right. So, and which video did you play, Leanne?
Which one was it? The enemy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the enemy. The enemy is pretty simple. Cool. It's working. Any questions regarding the enemy? The enemy. Pretty simple. It's the source of misinformation. What is the source of misinformation? I believe when we were talking about the Greg, we were talking about the children, the crying. What is the source of that? You know, it could be the first thing that comes to my mind, and I'm not an expert in the subject at all, but like, you know, those 1970s Dr. Spock books, you know, or your grandmother's well-intentioned, you know, advice, those kind of things. You know, that would be what I'd use for that. Does it already have to be is? Can it be are? You mean, let me share my screen here.
Oh, is the enemy? Is saying are the enemy?
Okay.
I'm guessing. Just guessing.
Are this? Yeah. So you can use is or are. The worst case scenario is that you might have to change that word inside the script. But yeah, I like to try to stick with is. But like our parents are, our siblings are, would be that. But we try to use sentences that we don't say, you know, we try to use sentences that will work for either tense, but sometimes you'd have to just correct it manually, but it'd be rare. Does that make sense? So yeah, you could use is or are. Yes, sir. Okay, stop screen sharing again. Okay, and there it goes. Okay. Okay, Rick, no, readability for fourth grade investment retirement information. On a sales page, believe it or not, yes. On an email, you can shoot for seventh. And yeah, it's the majority of words is what it goes when it goes to there. So yeah. So yeah, Scott said the so-called fitness experts may tell you. Right. So in this, Scott, you want to make sure that so-called fitness experts is the only thing that's in there. I'm pretty sure that's what you're doing. So-called fitness experts. Yeah. But that's what you would enter in there. You wouldn't enter in the whole sentence. No, readable is not the right one for that. It's this one here. I believe that's it. I'm gonna check that one real quick, but I'm almost positive that is the one. And oh, they changed it. Okay, they changed it. They just changed it literally a week ago. So awesome. Okay. Any other enemies? Any other questions regarding the enemies? The enemy was pretty simple. Do you guys see why we're doing it? Because why we're doing it is going to obviously play into, don't beat yourself up. You might have fallen victim to some of the most common sources of misinformation. Some people say it's this or that. That's what we do with that. And always want to put more than one enemy in there, because we'll occasionally use as many as 3. So everybody cool with it? Everybody good? See, we're blazing through this now. Okay, yeah. Let's play the next video. Next up is primary cause. It's a big one. It's a big one.
The primary cause is the number one thing that is contributing to the primary and secondary complaints that your prospect is experiencing. There are 2 approaches to defining the primary cause of the problem: the straightforward approach and what I call the trademark approach. The straightforward approach is pretty much telling it like it is. For example, if the primary problem is weight gain, the cause of the problem might be eating the wrong foods. This approach is simple and may work perfectly well for you. However, it may not be the best marketing tactic depending on your audience. Email Copy Pro wants to help you expand your marketing reach by playing around with how you define your primary cause. So let's talk about the trademark approach. Let's take weight gain. Again, weight loss is my niche as an example. While it's true that eating the wrong foods is a cause of weight gain, using this example, we're suggesting that you dig a bit deeper and ask a series of questions that are called if so, why. Here's how that would work in the example for weight loss. If the cause is excess calories, why does your prospect eat too many calories? The possible answers might be hidden calories, calories that are cleverly disguised within foods that are labeled as healthy, caloric binging, eating more calories at night due to the hectic schedules that a lot of us face, hormonal addiction, spikes in sugar and calories that create hormonal spikes that actually trigger drug-like reactions in the brain, and so on. Now, these are 3 quick examples of how you would dig deeper by asking if so why, finding the root cause behind something. Your job as an email marketer is to help your prospects see their problem in a brand new light. And that positions you to deliver a brand new answer, one that can trigger an aha moment. Once you create a trademarked cause, you immediately set yourself apart from any other marketer in your field. Prospects will begin to view their problems and their solutions in light of this new perspective, and this can increase your sales and your revenue. So let's talk about how I would define my primary cause for weight gain. I have a term that I use: metabolic adaptation.
Okay, we be back.
So that was the primary cause, right?
That's a big one. So say hello when you can hear us, and
type in your primary causes.
Yeah, Perry. I think I could have swore he got it from there, but maybe he didn't. That's funny, John. Yeah, it's funny. Jonathan said, I don't know who can read the comments and who can't, to be honest with you, because I'm not on the other side of this. But he said it makes me feel like starting a fitness email list so I can sell your fitness product. It's funny because I've had so many people buy my various books that I use as my own examples. But I'm not trying to do that. It's not a nefarious plot. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get some primary causes in here. Primary cause is a very, very important niche entry because this is going to be used all the time. Mine is metabolic adaptation. As you can tell, there's only one, so you guys can fill in your primary causes here. I recommend that you title case them. So we'll wait and see some examples. Waiting for that 30-second thing going by. Okay.
Still nothing. Come on. Primary causes. Anybody?
Come on, guys.
Here we go, Greg.
Okay. Sleep intoxication. That's interesting. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Can't see the screen, Tim?
Well, you're not sharing the screen.
I'm not sharing the screen. We're just talking. We're just asking you to share your primary costs in here. So Greg, that's great. Yeah, that's Ellen, that's more of an enemy than a cause. So your primary cause is would be something like you see, I'm trying to think of like a combination of being married and your thesis, that is your thesis, that marriage, that you're talking to people that believe that marriage kills sex. So it could be something like the primary cause is intimacy breakdown, or intimacy or sexual disconnection. I'm looking for like a phrase like that, right? Or you could say like it's what's causing people to have less sex as they're married. So that's how that's going to be used inside the emails. Does that make sense? So let me see. Okay, Rick said government conspiracy. No, okay. I think okay. Are you sure you played that the primary cause? Because these are all enemies.
I thought I did. Let me see. Primary cause. Yeah.
So Rick, that's definitely an enemy. Government conspiracy, no education in schools. Those are definitely enemies. Definitely not primary causes. So let's make sure that we're all watching the same video here. Guy said, I don't understand retalio. Retalio?
Retail, maybe it's retail finance.
So yeah, retail finance, that's not a cause. That's not I'm not sure what that is, but okay. We did pray. Okay. We're just a little, well, that's what we're here for. I told you this.
You're on the call, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, just want to make sure because okay, so Jonathan said feeling a little fuzzy. Would goal obfuscation, if I can say it, work for people who don't know how to measure identity? Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's a tricky word to say. It's good. That's exactly what I'm wanting you to do. But it's more like goal dissonance or goal. What would be a great word here, Leanne? Because my brain is refusing to work today.
Let's see, goal. Just for people who aren't using goals properly. Would be.
Yeah, they don't measure their goal like you see yeah. So let me think on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm 20 seconds here.
Yeah. See, this is what takes the most time, is that we're trying to do this live, and sometimes I can just whip it right out here and get it quickly, but sometimes, yeah. So goal obfuscation. I would change obfuscation because normally I can even say the word, but tonight I can't even say the word, and this is me sober. It's pretty scary. Yeah. Yeah. So. How to identify? Wonder about. I'm stuck on this one.
A lack of, it would be goal misuse syndrome or something like that.
Oh, how about a play on words? Check this out. Mistaken goal identity. Because mistaken identity is a play on words. So, because you were talking about not mistaken goal identity is where you don't identify your goal or track it correctly. That's pretty cool.
And Bob said unknown goal syndrome. Yeah, something like that. Like they're not using goals. They're not setting goals properly.
Yeah. So yeah. So let's go back here. So Ellen, Scott, I like what Ellen. I like what Scott said. Intimacy detachment. That's great. Love that. Okay, wrong word, but right idea. Yep. Okay. Okay. Unknown goal syndrome. Yeah, it's
not really unknown. It's just
not really a syndrome. It's a yeah. It's like a obfuscation, if I could freaking say it. That word works as long as people understand that what it means. What I would do is get out a thesaurus and say, what's another word for that?
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's what we're here for.
Obfuscate is confused, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it basically means to befuddle. Yeah. Okay, here it is. So yeah, you get goal confusion. I mean, that's obvious, right? But yeah, stupefaction. Don't use that one. I was wondering. I was trying to find something that started with a G.
Oh, people who don't know. They haven't even defined their goals, so it's goal.
You know, as silly
like it's lack of goals.
Just run with this. So if that sounds really silly, goal fog, but you can't mistake it.
Yeah, that's good actually.
Goal fog is good. I mean, and this is coming from a very high like a weird copy position. But when you say something like goal fog, it's just like you almost have to open it up, right? Because you don't know what it means. I mean, you can visually see it, but you want more clarification. So yeah. So let's see if we can get all these cranked out here tonight. Anyway, goal fog. All right, great. Jonathan liked it. It's people who don't know their goals, who can't pursue. Yeah, exactly. Okay, the definition makes it clear. Yeah. Okay, cool. So goal fog is the winner there. Got that one. Hey, the paint chips are wearing off. Okay. So Jim, you mentioned something. You said boredom. Can you elaborate on that? Not really sure. That would definitely not be. That would be an enemy. If boredom might be an enemy, for example, if education was the topic, but could you elaborate so that I don't make sure that we don't miss you on that?
Asked, what could be the cause for retirement insecurity?
Yes, there's only one primary goal, and that is on purpose. Or no, one primary. It's actually, excuse me, a primary cause. Yeah, so there's more than one primary goal. So that is on purpose. The primary cause, you can only have one. Yeah.
All right, so back to Rick. What could be the cause for retirement insecurity?
Yeah. Okay. So which one was it?
Rick.
Okay. Good. We missed it. So we asked Rick and Jim. Jim, I've already asked about. Rick, what could be the cause for retirement insecurity? The primary cause for retirement, something to the effect of. Okay, you're looking at. I'm putting myself in the mindset.
The retirement savings something, parallax or something.
Yeah, it's too complicated. Parallax. So can you be more explicit with like, okay, is your customer say in their 50s and they're concerned that they won't be able to retire? Because I mean that's a legitimate thing, right? So tell me what your mistaken belief is. That's going to help me. If you can just list out what that mistaken belief is. And so I'll wait for Rick to do that, and if Jim gets back to us, that's awesome. Ellen said intimacy disconnect. So yeah, intimacy disconnect is good. There may be, it's, I want like a cause, like what's causing the problem. It's like, I'm trying to think of it. How can we dimensionalize this even better? Intimacy disconnect works, but and it's something that your audience would immediately get. But if it was something like,
oh, what about like the shared bed syndrome, or the marriage bed syndrome? Something.
and bear in mind, this is going to be the primary cause against everything that you write about. Is like if you do write it that way, I'd write it like this. If you use that one, sorry. You're going to find out that using disconnection versus disconnect is going to serve you better with the way that the emails are written. So intimacy disconnection, yeah, it's something like there's something there, Ellen. Let me wrap my head around that one the way I did gold fog. Okay, give me a moment here. Okay, so we're gonna come back. Let's put Ellen down on the comeback. But intimacy disconnection is not bad. You could totally use
That's
it.
not bad.
No. Retirement reality avoidance. You see, was that
That's Scott.
That was Scott, but that was Rick that was talking about retirement, right? I'm waiting for what Rick's enemies are. I want to know more about what his customers believing. Like, what are the mistaken beliefs? That's what I'm not seeing. Yes, Ellen, exactly. It's the juicier thing is what I'm trying to pin down myself on this one. Is yeah, it could be a little juicier for sure. Boy, let me see. Oh, you know what? I got a great one. I got you're gonna love me for this. Or even more provocative. Obviously, play off words. Sexual divorce. That's, you know, I'm a little slow tonight, but when I do get it, I think I'm getting it pretty well. But that's what I'm wanting that's what I'm wanting to see. So sexual divorce. There's not a person on the planet that's married that would not open that email. I don't think that's the kind of stuff you want. Yeah, that sounds like that sounds like a sexless marriage, which is the primary cause, right? So sexual divorce is like, you know, yeah, I'm saying this is how I would word it. You know, is that you can have the greatest sex of your marital life unless you fall victim to what I call sexual divorce. And that's the belief that when you get married, you all have to divorce yourself from your normal sexual pleasures, you know, that your normal sexual life gets divorced from your marital life out of responsibility. Does that make sense? Yes. To say sexual divorce lawyers. That's great. Yeah, right. So I'm thinking of a ho-hum sex life. So that's I guess that I might not understand what your target is, but that's what I'm coming up with right now.
Ouch.
The Bobbitt divorce. There you go.
Oh, so maybe something like vanilla sex. If it's like boring sex.
Yeah, I still like sexual divorce. I still think the sexual separation or sexual divorce is really good. I mean, that because again, this is the cause of the problem. So their problem is they're having a ho-hum. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ellen. I want to make sure. Their problem is that they're having bad sex in their marriage. Is that correct? Is that the problem? Let's make sure that we're right on the cause here. So.
In the meantime, you could, let's see, let me scroll down.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting on, I still never got Rick's stuff. But anyway, Howard said no cybersecurity, primary cause. Okay, so I need more information on that one, Howard. No cybersecurity. Can you give us some more information here?
And you may want to go down to, I think it's Mike, who said he's in the self-defense niche. He said, I'm struggling for self-defense something. I think it's the belief that people don't think it will happen to them.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, was he the MMA?
yeah. Okay, so I don't have the genes. I wasn't born with it. Is that what you're talking about? Or that's it, Mike. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I think it's the belief that people don't think it will happen to them. Okay. So yeah. So the mistaken belief is that you'll never have to get into a fight, or that you'll never have to defend yourself. And so yeah. But so the primary cause in your case is that's their mistaken beliefs, so what I need to know more about is who your target audience is people that you're wanting to engage in self-defense, or so yeah, it's a little complicated. Let me hop back over here real quick. Let me see. So what we were looking for here is, what is the primary cause for someone not being able to learn martial arts at whatever age they are? Or not. So the primary cause for that might be something, it could be something completely unrelated to thinking it's going to not happen to them. The primary cause could be, let me see, what would, it really has to focus around, like, if you get into the mind of your prospect, why are they not taking martial arts? Why are they not taking a self-defense class? So that's what you want to go after for your primary, for your primary cause. Is what's preventing them from doing that. So it could be something as simple as, they don't, some form of like time thing, it's like, it could be something as they don't feel like they can physically do it. Like maybe they don't have the genetics for it. They don't think that they're strong enough. They don't feel like they're old enough. Whatever the mistaken beliefs are for why they're not taking self-defense, the cause is what's causing those. The primary cause is what is preventing people from taking action. So in this case, it could be, tell me what the number one reason for your customer not taking self-defense is, and maybe I can answer the question better. Okay, we're gonna, yeah. Okay. So what Jonathan is saying, the slow gene syndrome, or yeah, it could also be that you feel like you're going to have to be Bruce Lee. Like you could turn into the Bruce Lee syndrome. Now this would be funny because almost everyone knows who Bruce Lee is, right? So if this was the cause, you could say, a lot of folks may believe that you need to spend 8 hours a day in a dojo and kind of go crazy and adopt a totally wild lifestyle, or learn these really complicated moves like Bruce Lee, and so they call it the Bruce Lee syndrome. That's what's keeping people out of martial arts, is they believe it takes hours and hours a day or something. That's where I'm going with the whole primary cause issue. See if that sparks some things here. Okay, so Howard's gonna send some stuff here. Oh, Ellen. Okay, yeah. It's the sexual glass ceiling. Yeah. Sexual decline syndrome. That works. Yeah, that works. But it's got to be what's causing it's the thing that's causing them not to take action. That's how you want to think of primary causes. So what's causing them not to A, believe they can't do it, and B, not take action to solve the problem. So that's what the primary cause is about. So do you see what I'm saying? That's why I mentioned, like when I said sexual divorce, it's like it's a mistaken belief that has caused the problem. They believe that that's what's keeping them from that. But I do like sexual decline, the sexual decline syndrome. Okay, Rick said lots of enemies to stable retirement, but primary cause seem to be difficult to see. Too busy, life flies by before you think of retiring. Government conspiracies, heavy taxes. Okay. Okay, so primary cause for that. Okay, so what you're saying here, to do, yeah. I think the one that sticks out to me the most, Rick, in this one is the not knowing what to do. So I would say it's like, I would call it financial dissonance. Something to that effect. So financial, like or savings dissonance. The term cognitive dissonance is what I'm playing off of. Is savings dissonance is just confusion on knowing where to put your money, how to save it, or even if you're too old to even start. So that's what's causing it. It's like cognitive dissonance, only it's about savings. So that's how I would look at that one. That one's pretty cool. So Howard said he's selling a product to help small business owners secure their companies from cyber threats. Oh, okay. So I got it. So taking the training to implement solutions without having to hire. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. So the primary cause in this one. So the mistaken belief is, so it might very well be very similar to what Mike was saying. It won't happen to me. So I'm sure that's one of the mistaken beliefs, or that I'm behind a firewall, so I'm a-okay. What's the primary cause of cyber attacks? The primary cause of cyber attacks is something I call, like something like a soft hard drive. That's I like to play off words like soft hard drive. That's your laptop is not as secure as you think it is, and and that's what's causing it's causing hackers to be able to get in and breach your security. The soft hard drive syndrome or something like that, or the if it's or people's bad passwords. So you could play off that too. The primary cause is something, so the primary cause, think of it this way. The primary cause is what your product solves. So if your product says, we help people with cybersecurity because we focus on the one thing that we think is the least secure, which is, I'm making this up because I don't know, obviously, but is your passwords. So your primary cause would be like, password permutations or pathetic passwords. I mean, that's a stupid one, but you get the idea. The cause would be like a weak password. You would just come up with a better name for it than that. But so what is the one thing, if you can answer this one, Howard, what is the one thing that you do that your company solves? What's the one area that you target? I'm saying the biggest. When I say the one area, I mean the biggest area. It's like we really focus on X as being the primary cause of cybersecurity, of in this case, cyber breach. Think of the primary cause as the sexy name of the culprit of why they can't have the solution. Thank you, Melanie. That's a really good way to do it. It's the cause relative to married sex, fear of rejection. I don't understand that sentence. Are you saying that they fear rejection from their partner? As a married couple, not sure I understand. I would like sleep intoxication. I like that one much better, Greg. Oh, Scott, that's good. I like sexual sedation. That's great. Scott, thanks. You're hired. So I like that one a lot for Ellen's thing, sexual sedation. So that's what we're looking for here. And this, by the way, is why it's good to work in groups and to do what we do, because it's like we get these little names and then you off to the races. It's just going to be so much stronger. Kim said in the network marketing business, many people don't take marketing training because they're persuaded it's easy and that anyone can do it. Okay, so that's the mistaken belief. So I need to know more about your product to know what the primary cause would be. So discover this. As if it was me, they would quit rather than take a marketing class. Then you could be the primary cause. It could be something like marketing mayhem. Like it's like some sort of a confusion around marketing, chaotic marketing chaos, marketing dissonance. I go back to the word dissonance a lot. That one works too, because you're getting confusion over marketing. So pension paralysis, Martin, I like that one a lot. Pension paralysis is great. Martin, that's awesome on so many fronts, because you got, obviously, pension resonates with anyone in their 60s, but paralysis does too. I mean, that's a word that's going to resonate with people who are older because they are less mobile. And I'm not trying to be scary on purpose, but it's going to resonate with them. I like that one a lot. Okay, nothing I do. Yeah. I really like the soft hard drive. I think that's clever, and I think that people would kind of laugh. Have you fallen victim to the soft hard drive? Again, who wouldn't open that are interested in this kind of stuff? Okay, so okay, Martin, thanks a lot. I hope it was helpful. Ellen said people are afraid to suggest ways to improve their sex lives out of fear of hurting their partner. Oh, yeah. Okay. So she loved sexual sedation. Awesome. Finally got something. Good. Awesome. Yes, that one makes total sense now. Yes. You should totally play up on that in your writing, Ellen, that one of the biggest causes is sexual sedation. Also, you might want to even duplicate the niche and test it out. We may add the ability to add more than one of these. We didn't on purpose, like I said, because there's really only one. It's going to be very complicated. Otherwise, you have to click a lot of buttons. The problem is you've got something really good there in saying that one of the main reasons. Let's say that you're having really good sex or you're having good sex, but you want better sex. That's going to cause all sorts of jealousy issues to come up. So I would play off jealousy. Like there's something in there that's got a jealous component to it. And that could be one of the primary causes. It's like sexual jealousy could be a cause for this, because a sexual jealousy, meaning that that you're afraid that if you bring up to your partner that you want to improve your sex life, they may feel jealous, thinking that you had a better lover in the past and they're not adequate. See, I've never had this happen to me in my entire life, so I'm totally guessing. So I think Leanne's just unplugged at this point because I can't even get a snicker out of her now. Dissonance is not a 4th grade word. It's a 7th grade word, though. So you don't need all 4th grade words. It'd be really stilted. Type out an email, put sexual dissonance or cognitive dissonance or whatever, or not cognitive dissonance, or financial dissonance, and then look at the rest of the email, and that's how it's going to gauge it. Most people know what dissonance means. So you could also say confusion if you want to go that way. So are you still with us, Leanne? You might be on mute and just not know it. Okay, I think we lost Leanne here. So we got to play the next video, guys, because we've got only 20 minutes here. So I got to get Leanne back. I'm going to see if I can ping her. There she is. Okay. Well,
for some reason my mic wasn't working. I was unmuted and talking. So, oh well.
Okay, cool. Well, okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. We got a lot of good information here. Definitely woke me up. So I was like, wow, I'm usually really good at this. So hopefully, yeah, malaise is definitely a word that I love the word as a writer, but that's probably a lot more confusing. It's probably too high of a.
I like the what is that called? Why can't I think of that now?
Alliteration.
Yeah, thank you.
Like alliteration. I love the fact it reminds me of Dr. Evil. I was subjected to the kind of malaise. Don't get me started. Okay, let's
play the next video, right?
We're down to 20 minutes. I have a hard off at hard cut off at 5:30. So yeah.
All right, cause defined, right?
The cause defined is simply an explanation of your primary cause, so you can go into as much detail as required. Since it's best not to use long paragraphs in emails, feel free to use returns if you have a lot to say. So this is just me defining what I just defined as my primary cause so my customer understands it more. And here's the definition. Metabolic adaptation is a hormonal process that occurs when you cut calories for longer than 72 hours at a time. Now I'm going to put returns here, and I'm going to expand this window so I can see what I'm doing. And I just tell them what that means. The metabolic hormone T4 declines, sending your fat-burning hormone T3 into the toilet. And I'll return here. This is why your body revolts on a low-calorie long-term diet. That is the definition of my primary cause. I'm going to save it. And if I am so inclined, I can actually create another definition of this that I can use at a different time. Now, obviously, we wouldn't want to define it completely differently, but I can just use a slightly different wording. So I'll copy this, click Add Entry, expand this field, paste it back in here, and then I will change this to this. These subtle and very simple changes can really make the difference in how your emails read to your customer. It makes them have more impact and creates a more fluid feel when your customer is reading them. Save it, and we're finished.
All right, I know I played the right video this time. So that was cause defined. Let's see. Ellen says Scott's cooking. Oh, with that marital malaise. Yeah, I like that. I like the alliteration.
Yeah, I just don't like the word malaise because malaise
know.
is a complicated word. Do I like malaise? Yes, but again, dissonance, I think probably 70% of the people get it. Malaise, you'd get down to 50. Yeah.
All right. So where were we? Cause defined. We need those causes
Cause
defined,
defined.
people.
We really don't need to spend any time on this one at all, folks, because all this is whatever your primary cause is, you simply define it. So I don't think we're gonna have any questions on this one, but just in case we do, I'll throw it out. I just want to make sure that we get in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Greg, that's exactly right. Yeah. I would say sleep intoxication occurs. I can't even speak tonight, guys. I swear to you all, I am completely sober. I don't know what's going on here. Sleep intoxication is a condition. I'd call it a condition where a person is inundated with so much sleep information.
So they're overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're overwhelmed. Yeah.
The sleep overwhelm
Yeah.
information syndrome or something.
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
I like sleep intoxication. That's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, overwhelmed. I might change inundated from overwhelmed. So your cause can be whatever jargon you like, but if you define it, then you're set. Guy, you nailed it.
Yes.
Yes, and the reason why we're using jargon, just in case it got skipped, is because we want you to stand out. That's why that's it. Yep. We want you to stand out. So if you use, I guarantee you, Greg, no one's using sleep intoxication. I'd be surprised if someone did, and all the other ones that we came out, certainly, the fog one. I mean, it's just not being used, right? Goal fog. I mean, we want you to stand out. And so we're asking you to go the extra mile and do a little bit of thinking. As you can tell, I mean, even I have to dig down and think about some of the stuff. Now, if it's my own product, it's a little easier. But yeah, it's a challenge. But this challenge is going to pay major dividends because your emails will stand out. So I think we can just play the next email because this one was pretty straightforward.
Yep. And the next one's short. The next one is cause analogy. So here we go. Cause analogy.
The cause analogy is where you're going to create a simple way for your prospect to relate to the primary cause by the use of an analogy. Analogies, or comparing the cause to something that's already familiar to your prospect, is just an entertaining way to do this. I'm going to show you the analogy that I came up with for my primary cause, which is metabolic adaptation. I'll just click here. Select from a transitional phrase. I say, imagine it like this. And then hormonal adaptation is like a credit limit on your account. And imagine a low-calorie diet as the cash you're spending. So I'm actually using two analogies here. The longer you stay on that diet, the more drained your account becomes. Eventually the account is overdrawn and it is shut down, just like your fat-burning metabolism. Now you can create more than one analogy if you wish. One is sufficient, but the more the merrier.
And we're back.
Okay, great. We back. Okay, so wait to, this is probably one that isn't going to require a heck of a lot of input either. I mean, analogies are pretty straightforward. But let's see, we spent so much time on the other stuff. I'm hoping that we can actually get through this, but if we don't, we'll have to finish it up on our next session. Yeah, so Greg, that's a good point. Yeah, I take it you mean, yeah, are you talking about intoxication, or I don't know which one you're talking about, which word you're referring to? But yeah, you can if you use like malaise or something like that, that people they might not get what it means to open the email if we use it in the subject line. But yeah, you definitely want to define it, and if you do use a word, you definitely want to define it. Will analogies be appended to the same cause in the process of generating emails? Yeah. So not all the time, Guy, but sometimes we'll say like let's take goal fog, because goal fog's standing out in my brain. So it's like, have you fallen victim to goal fog? Goal fog prevents you from blah, 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 So what is goal fog? Goal fog is a condition where you blah, 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 blah. But not always. Sometimes we don't define it. We just leave it open. You know, like I said, you go to this page below and you'll find out that the number one reason you're not succeeding is something that experts are calling goal fog link. You see how that creates a blind, what we call a blind email. It's a blind link where you don't know why you're going to the page, except that you're going to discover something that makes you feel curious. That's good. That's all good. Okay. But so we use it both ways. We use it, and we're going to use some. You'll be surprised how some of your emails come out. We use some pretty cool tricks there. So, okay,
yeah,
so
especially Ellen's email.
Yeah, really, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see all you guys' emails. This is going to be great. So like I said again, you know, Ellen, I just have no experience whatsoever in this, but. Okay, so do you ever use the word "you invent," i.e., goal fogging? Andrew, yes, that's actually what I mean by trademarking. Yes, goal fogging, you know, or goal fog. That's great. I don't know why we got stuck on goals, and next thing you know, we're talking goal fogging. Isn't this fun? This is why I love doing what I do, is because you kind of come up with these creative things, and next thing you know, now I can't be thinking about goal setting without thinking, am I goal fogging? So you're getting a lot of good use out of this one, let me tell you. Yeah, exactly. I use a word I invent all the time. In fact, the more you can do that, the better. So I'm trying to do that with everyone, and you just can't do it with everybody because either the product doesn't lend itself to it, or you're just not super creative in that one moment. But you guys can use these, watch this, and kind of get inspired, is what our hopes are, and saying, hey, is there a word I can come up with that sounds kind of cool? But yeah, definitely.
Hey, what about VSL?
Yeah, well, yeah,
sales letters, right?
Yeah, I created video sales letters, and so I coined the term VSL, literally. Yeah, got goal fog. I think I'm telling you, man, this goal fog thing is really taking life. You know, when you got a good hook and everyone's remembering it. So I'd love to see every single one of you guys get some great. And by the way, so you know, it's so far almost everyone that I've seen, you guys have created some really good stuff. Completely cool. Don't get too hung up over it, but just let it marinate in your brain. You might wake up in the middle of the night and go, I got it. But if I didn't bring it up to you to ask you to think about it, you would have never thought about it. And so that's what Email Copy Pro, I think, it does very well. We ask you to think about stuff you never would have thought about. Okay, so let's play the next video, Leanne. I'm just concerned about, I would never normally say I've got to go, but I'm actually on an interview at 5:30, so I have to. All
right, here we go. Cause triggers.
Cause triggers are the causes behind the primary cause. In other words, what is triggering the primary cause of your prospect's problem? So in other words, what's causing the cause? So looking at my primary cause of hormonal adaptation, what is causing that? What are the factors that contribute to that happening faster? This is a great section for tips, quick tips that your customer can use, but are incomplete, that lead them to your primary product. So I'm going to enter 3 cause triggers here. The first cause trigger, low-fat diet. And then this sentence here, here's how you beat it. I want you to blank. This is just a quick tip on how to beat whatever the cause is. In this case, low-fat diets is pretty simple. So I want you to try increasing your dietary fat. Notice I'm starting with no capital letters. Try increasing your dietary fat by using 3 teaspoons of coconut oil per day to cook with. Very simple tip. I'm going to save it. We're going to add another one. And this one is over-exercising, especially cardio. And here's how you overcome it. So just typed in stick to resistance training every other day, brisk walking for your cardio. And notice I could have a period here and I complete the sentence, but I'm ending the sentence without a period. So I can get as specific as I want in here, because remember, these are just going to be used for content. So I'm going to save this. I'll add one more entry. And a diet low in magnesium has been shown to lower thyroid output. So how do they fix it? I'm going to give a simple supplement recommendation of 400 to 800 grams of magnesium. And there it is. Those are my tips. And triggers. So the triggers, again, cause the cause. This can lead to what my primary cause, again, if you look over here, is metabolic adaptation. And what is causing that are these entries. A low-fat diet can cause it, over-exercising can cause it, and a diet low in magnesium.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'll wait for everyone to say hello. Hello. Okay, awesome. We got down to the triggers.
Now we got 2 left.
Feeling so triggered. I'm a special snowflake. So the triggers, pretty straightforward, I hope, is, what causes the cause? It's the causes behind the primary cause. So what's triggering it? For example, if you said, okay, Ellen, excellent. Feeling sexually invisible to your partner. Yeah, that would definitely do it. Other causes behind the cause could be a change in your body. You know that your body's changing. You feel older. You gain weight. You lose weight. Some sort of physical changes could be really good. Howard, I don't get the 5x5, but oh, I do get it. That's 5x5 is isn't that like a 5x5 means we're back in, right? I'm telling you, Howard, if you're asking me to think tonight, it ain't gonna happen.
I have no idea.
And I have no idea why. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, okay. Don't enemies cause the primary cause? No, enemies are the source of the misinformation. So I let me give you an example. And this isn't true, but I'm making it up. I believe I need to starve myself because I read it in a magazine that the best way to diet is on 500 calories a day. So the magazine is the enemy. Does that make sense? Yeah, 5x5 does mean hey, I got it. Hey, lead chips, exactly. Yum, exactly. So yeah, this is the for me the most difficult section in all of Email Copy Pro, because these little nuances are very important. Like the enemy is the source of the misinformation. So we were talking about retirement, for example. One of the enemies might be mutual fund advertisers, because they're not good sources of investments for people over 60. I'm making this up. I have no idea. But you get the idea. So that might be an enemy. It can also be a cause, but it would just slightly be reworded. So, but primarily, what I like to focus on for enemies is it's like conspiracies. It's like, there's a conspiracy against the retirement world that's being carried out by X, by the greedy Wall Street bankers. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm making this up. I do not know this industry. Greedy Wall Street bankers are the enemy, and that's what I'm trying to get you to go for there. For women, feeling sex with your hubby has become a job. Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So I think that if you turn that into something even more specific, like treating sex as a job. Do you see what I mean? Like treating sex as a job. And also, I would not say for women, because I actually know guys that feel that way too. So it does, but unless you go to an all-female audience, of course. So I would say, treating sex like a chore, a job, or a task list. So that's a common one. It's a checklist. It has to be done 3 times. If we don't do it 3 times a week, we have to check it off the checklist.
Too bad you couldn't say something like cubicle sex. I know that's not.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we'll throw in. We've got. There's no need to do the statistic ones because it's very obvious. But I do want to do the consequences one. So let's run that video, and then we'll take the last questions. And then Leanne, you can stay on if you can to answer any of the
oh, right. You got 5 minutes. All right. I'm going to play the video.
Consequences are the side effects of the primary cause. How does your prospect know that he or she is suffering from the primary cause? What physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual symptoms occur because of it? Remember, your prospect understands the complaints more than the cause. Your job is to educate him or her about the real underlying threats of not resolving this issue. And I'm going to enter 3 consequences, and you'll see how Email Copy Pro asks you to do this. You'll first complete this sentence. A consequence you may face is or are, and this is the first consequence. You'll want to enter, like I said, at least 3, but try to enter more than that. I'm going to enter 3 for this tutorial. So the first consequence someone may face when dealing with metabolic adaptation or gaining weight or thyroid issues, any of the things that I'm talking about, would be an increase in cellulite, especially in the hip and thigh area. And then this is going to ask you to make a transition into why this is such a problem. And I'm going to say, and this can really cause you distress as you suffer social embarrassment, often to the point of draining your enthusiasm to work out. It can even affect your love life. So that's my first entry. I'll save this. I'm going to create another one. what's another consequence? Another consequence might be a massive decrease in energy, especially in the late afternoon. And this can be a serious problem because your work productivity can suffer and you're left with no energy to take care of the kids or socialize. That's a good example. Save that. And we'll create one more. What's another consequence? Another consequence is thinning hair and very dry skin. That happens when your thyroid decreases. And I'm going to say, this is something you need to be aware of because, and I'm going to leave this empty. You don't need to select the pronoun. The combination of excess weight and thinning hair is often serious enough to make you depressed. So that's my sentence, and you can check it right here. Reads well, and I'm done.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I hate to part ways with you guys so abruptly, but I've got an interview in a minute I've got to be ready for. And I hope that you guys got a lot out of this training.
Okay. Now I know that that was the right video. And Pete, yes, this call will be available because it is recorded. So all you do, everybody, just FYI, the same link that you used to join this webinar tonight, just go back to that email and click it, and you'll get right to the replay. And be sure to watch the replay inside the Webinar Jam room. Don't click out and go to YouTube, because with the Webinar Jam technology, it plays the videos. You can see the screen in the Webinar Jam replay room. But if you go out to YouTube, they don't show. It just shows a black screen. So that's that. So we're on consequences. And you know what? Why don't you type some of your consequences in, and while I'm waiting for that, John had a good idea, and then he kind of had to rush off. And that was, you know, all this, like if I share my screen, let me see if I can even do this. Hopefully it works. I'm not going to be able to see the chat while I'm sharing the screen, but I want to show you something. So give me a second, and let me share my screen and go here. Hopefully you can see it. And basically, if you think of this part, so the enemy, the primary cause, the cause defined, and the consequences, and like make a sentence. So you could have a sentence saying, some people think that babies' poor sleep is caused, you know, they have the mistaken belief because they've been taught by whatever, Dr. Spock books, that babies should cry themselves to sleep. However, that's not true because, and then you just put these things into that sentence. And so now you've got something that makes sense to you. You know what I mean? And that's what I call the blank. And even if it's a really long run-on sentence, it could make more sense as a completed whole thought than by these little snippets. So I just thought that might help some people. Because it kind of helps me when I'm working on this, rather than thinking of disjointed, you know, oh, I just got to think of a trigger. They're so disjointed, but if you put them all in a sentence, it kind of makes more sense to you. So anyhow, let me pop back here, stop sharing my screen. All right, so I don't see any consequences. You guys still with me, or did you boot out because John left? Which is okay, I'm cool with that. But I'm also highly trained in the system, so I could maybe answer your questions if you want to go for it, or if you want to just have me play the next video, I'll play the next video. But I'm up for either if you guys are. So any feedback? Do you want me to, you want to shoot some consequences in the chat? Or should I just go right to the next video? Because I'm good either way. So while I'm waiting for that, great, you haven't gotten that far. So, well, obviously, so consequences for you would be cranky baby, parents, you know, dealing with sleep deprivation, things like that. Right, Greg? And Ellen is saying, feeling emotionally distant from your mate, anxious, wondering if we're going to have sex tonight, finding you. Oh gosh, there's so many consequences, right? I mean, if you really play it to an nth degree, divorce could be a consequence, right? Because like, oh my God, your sex life went, you don't feel close enough to your spouse to talk about your sex life, and so, I mean, if you really went to the nth degree of it, you could get divorced. You could, your husband could, or the spouse could have an affair, things like that, right? Couldn't things like that happen if a couple is having a bad sex life? So, and Greg says yes. So yeah, there's all kinds of sleep deprivation and or fair sexual yeah. So you can go, like, I would fill out as many consequences as you can, and just think, oh, if X happens, if my baby's not getting enough sleep, then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this one's fairly easy and straightforward, and I think pretty easy to fill out. Struggling with this can lead to not knowing what's working, and this can be a serious problem because you end up emptying your bank account. Yeah, absolutely. Buying high commission products. So you're in trading. So if you don't know what you're doing, yeah. So all this is the consequence of the problem, right? So good. You guys are definitely getting it. All right. Well, statistics is pretty straightforward. I love using Google for statistics. I just do a Google search, statistics, and, my niche or my whatever. Howard is saying consequences: data held ransom, loss of revenue, loss of clients, lack of trust by vendors. All those are good. All those are good. I would enter all of them. Every consequence that you can think of that would impact your target market negatively, put it in there, because you never know how it's going to read in an email. And why not? All right, I am going to play FINRA lawsuits. Perfect. As long as your market is, knows that that's a common acronym in your market, then yeah, use it. If not, then, spell it out. Might want to Google some sex therapists to see what they say on their websites. I borrow a lot of ideas there. Scott, I do the same thing. A good thing, do you do this? I go to other people's, like, I'll find sales letters or offers, because on that offer page or the sales letter page is all the benefits, and the benefits is what the product does and the solutions. So yeah, great way to find a lot of ideas. All right, I'm going to play the statistics. It's very straightforward. So give me 1 second to load this thing up. I love that you can play these videos in Webinar Jam. It's a really cool feature. So here we go. It's 1 minute and 17 seconds. So not very long. I'm going to play it now. So it's loading, and here we go.
Statistics are a collection of data that pertains to how prevalent the primary cause and or secondary causes are in society. Fact-driven emails are great for promotions and for content, and stats pull better than just about anything else. So this is pretty straightforward. You're just going to enter statistics that are backed up by research, by peer review, or by some other documented form of evidence. So we're going to enter 3 statistics for my particular offer. So I'm going to fill this in by completing the sentence. Believe it or not, 93% of men and women who carry more than 15 pounds of excess fat suffer from a rapidly slowing metabolism. Pretty straightforward. There's no punctuation at the end. I'm going to enter another one. You want to enter at least 3 statistics, by the way. For this one, I'm going to say over half of women over 40 and 3/4, I'm going to make that 3-4, of men over 40 report having food addictions or uncontrollable cravings. So these are just interesting statistics that might get your prospect thinking. We're going to add one more. I'm going to go for a scary one for this one. 53% of men and women with subpar thyroid output suffer from heart conditions later in life. Save that. And we'll use those statistics in both content and promotional emails.
Okay, I know I played the right video that time. So let's see how it is saying. I assume it is due to the 30-second delay, but I seem to lose the question or statement that you or John asked right before you start the video. I'm not really saying anything. Right before I start the video, I'm just saying I'm going to start the video because I know about the lag. So I don't think you're losing much of anything. So yeah, it's just small talk right before I start the video. So Howard, you didn't miss a thing. So that was statistics, and pretty straightforward, right? Anybody got any questions on statistics? So I know I get a 30-second delay, but the juicier statistics and the more juicier and from the more prominent resources that you can get. So when you're looking for statistics, you know, if you are talking about baby sleep, whoever is an expert or authority in that in the marketplace, then that's what you want to use. The highest, the biggest authority that you could, you know. Yeah, Jonathan, it does. But I'm just saying, to make them the best statistics, make them the most relevant, best authority, the juiciest statistics that really impact your target market. Like, you know, let's say this was that the Kinsey Institute, I don't know if it's a sex, whatever the sex institute was, says that 92% of marriages are at risk because of, you know, sexual intimacy problems. And that would be a great statistic for Ellen, I think. But yeah, you all get it. Statistics, yeah, it's cool. So listen, sorry John had to boot out. If you have any questions on Email Copy Pro, or feedback, how about any feedback before we jump off the call here? Any feedback about things you love? Love to hear it right now. So I can get it in the chat and shoot it over to John. And if not, if I don't see anything, we'll end the call and we'll see you guys next week. And remember, we also have the Done With You service. So if you guys are really having issues digging in and want any help, then you would send an email to Done With You. I believe it's Done With You or Done For You. Done With You at emailcopypro.com. And we can set you up with you know, talking to somebody about maybe helping you through it. So, all right. Well, Kim's saying thanks. Greg, what day next week? I think Tuesday or Thursday. Those are the 2 days that we've been doing. So it's either going to be Tuesday or Thursday. So look for the email showing up in your inboxes. And thank you guys for participating. So that's awesome. We're in this together. And you guys are helping make Email Copy Pro even better. So that's that. So I will end the call here, and thanks again. And any feedback that you think of later and you want to send it to me, it's Leanne, Leeann at Accelerator.com, because I don't have an emailcopypro.com address yet. So listen again, thanks for spending an hour and a half or a little over with us tonight, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.